If you guys have noticed inside of Mlsp, there's something very cool going on. There is something pretty much every day, someone having some type of breakthrough through what these three have coined a Facebook challenge. And these three have come online inside of Mlsp in particular in the last few months and have really transformed the way we are training on in terms of leading with value and doing things on the free side with a budget and just over delivering and building relationships and rapport up front first. And then when you have that, how to transition and sell, allow them to join your coaching program, buy products from you, join your business. And Michelle just hit L4, Lisa and Jen Sullivan taught Michelle how to do these Facebook challenges. And all three of them are in kind of different niches and businesses, but they're doing the same thing. Exactly what you're going to learn tonight and how to build their brand, build their business, engage that audience, and really just grow their company like we've never seen on a zero budget with zero tech, zero skill. Like really, there's not like they coined this and created it themselves. There wasn't a skill set that they had that they were born with or even learned. They kind of, to my knowledge, created this themselves. And I know a lot of you guys in here are applying and what these ladies are teaching. And I thought tonight we could just bring them on and have them, give us as much value as possible and insight into what they are doing. And I saw Michelle just finished an actual Facebook challenge on Monday. Guys, 25 new Mlsp mastery trials in a 24-hour period with one of her challenges. And that was just something I pulled up on Monday because I saw a little blip in her signups. Let me just repeat that as we bring them out. 25 trials in a day with what we're going to learn tonight. And it's not about being an affiliate. You can do what they're going to teach you tonight in any business. But that's just an example. A lot of hundreds of people on tonight will understand. That's a big deal. So without any further ado, let us bring out Lisa Reed, Michelle Connealy, and Jen Sullivan. Good evening, ladies and rock stars. You guys are, you're up to something, man. You guys are doing some big things. How are we?
We are good. We're good. Hey, I just want to say too, by the way, Yolanda and Jolene that you mentioned that just hit L1, also one of the first in our challenges. So nice. They are rocking it right now.
Guys, I don't know how much more proof we need to say, just pay attention to tonight. Grab this, grab a pen and paper, turn this off, and just be present with these three because they're doing some big things. And you're going to get a ton of value from this. And I know you're going to have some big aha moments. So, hi. Maybe just take 30 seconds, just quickly. I think everyone should know who you guys are at this point, but your name, a quick snapshot of maybe your experience in the industry and what's been going on in your business as a result of the challenges.
Okay, I'll start. I don't know. So I'm Lisa, Lisa Reed. And I've been with Mlsp since I think it was like February of 2016. Came in on the 10-day trial. Thought I'd learn everything I could in 10 days, right? And then leave, and I've been here ever since. Found my home, probably never leaving. So thank you, Brian and Mlsp. I met Jen at Live the Dream, not this year, but a year ago, on the plane ride, going to Live the Dream, and spent the entire weekend with her. And sometime, I think it was like in the fall or winter is when we came up with this idea of 2016, and we started early, like in January or February of 2017 with these challenges. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's kind of it.
So what are you, and you've been doing, how long have you been online?
So I've been online since May of 2015.
May of 2015? Okay.
Yeah.
And you still a trainer right now? And I know that's where you came from and that you're in that profession.
What now? Sorry.
A trainer, physical trainer, just trying to get a background so people.
Oh yeah. So I was in healthcare for a long time, but right now I'm a part-time physical or part-time fitness instructor. So cool. No network marketing background really. Before I started in 2015.
Very cool. Just a few short years. All right. Well, that's Lisa Reed, guys. And you'll be hearing a bunch from her. Maybe let's just go. I don't know how it's panned out for you guys, but I'm in the middle here with Jen underneath and then Michelle. Is that what you guys see?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So Jen, why don't you go next, my dear?
Yeah, so kind of very similar story. I have a background in nursing, so in the healthcare industry, and so had no background in network marketing. Didn't actually know what that was, even when I was in one. I didn't know for the first few months. I didn't know what it was. So probably about 2016, no, 2015. So same as Lisa, about 2 years. Burnt through my warm market, knew that I had to find a different way, found Mlsp, found Lisa, and it's been a wonderful journey ever since. Yeah, I mean, I came to Mlsp because I think very similar. We were worried about how do we find when you burn through your warm market, you know, and Mlsp has been our home.
Yeah, and I know you guys both have, and just kudos to these two, all three of them, but Lisa and Jen invested in coaching. I know that they took their business seriously, and they made a decision. They got to an event, invested, and go figure, here they are growing their companies, getting results, and it's awesome. So hats off to you two ladies. Good stuff. And we had fun in Austin, Texas when you were here. It was nice to connect.
We did. That was, yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a big turning point for us, that weekend in Austin in November.
I could tell when we were in that room over there, right above me, you guys grilling me on the couch with very specific and very focused questions. And I knew that the caliber of what the ideas and the questions you guys had, I knew something, you know, something special was gonna happen. And here we are. Very, very cool. Michelle.
And then we met Michelle.
Well, how did you guys meet? Let's just circle back. How did this happen? How did these three?
Well, Michelle found me. I don't even know how you found me.
Yeah, so I joined network marketing in August of 2016 and burned through my warm market, of course. And by January, I was considering quitting. And I was pretty bummed for a few months and didn't really do much activity with my business. And that's when I came across Lisa, I'm pointing, sorry. I came across Lisa's, one of her videos on Facebook. It was a Saturday morning. I think my family was not here, or maybe my daughter was even sleeping. And I was sitting in the kitchen and I saw your ad. And it just like made me start to cry, because it was like, I can get teary-eyed right now. Like I was like, she's speaking to me, you know, like, yes. So I watched, you had like a little webinar kind of thing, automated, and it was in purple. I remember that. Yes. And I like watched it over and over and over and over. And at the end of it was the 10-day trial. And I signed up, and you called me. Mm-hmm. And you said, oh, I see you signed up. And I was like, yeah. I mean, I didn't even like really know how to handle even a real conversation with you, because I was like, here's this woman who just like spoke to my soul. Is it weird that I'm like wanting to tell her, you just spoke to my soul? So I was just kind of dry about it. I was like, yes, you know. And even at that point and where I was at, I wasn't even fully ready to accept all the goodness that was there. It was almost too much, like the sun was too bright for me. And I sat on my membership for a full month without having done anything with it, because, you know, that fear of success kicks in also. And you called me again and said, hey, just wanted to check in. We're doing this challenge. Do you want to join me? And it was like the right time, exactly what I needed to hear. And I was like, yes, I do. And so I did it, and the rest is history. You know, so it was just like you connected with me without having even known it. So that's why I say you never know who you're inspiring. You just never know.
Yeah, and just so you guys know too, I had only just started doing webinars, so you probably saw one of my very first webinars, which couldn't have been very good, but but I do remember calling you, and I remember the first, I think it was the first video, the first free challenge that we did. Michelle invited like 85 people, and I was like, holy crap, okay.
I didn't stop. I just kept inviting.
She just kept inviting. Can I invite more? Yeah, absolutely. Just throw in there.
Right on, right on. Very cool. Okay. So she spoke to your soul through a webinar, and just guys, for everyone who's on, first couple webinars, she's getting her feet wet, Lisa, and brought in Michelle. I mean, they work. They work. If you just have the courage to do them, you're going to screw them up. They're, especially in the beginning, it's going to happen, but they're a necessity, and obviously they work. Case in point. Okay, cool. So guys, there we are. We've got Lisa Reed, Jen Sullivan, Michelle Connealy. Here's how this is going to work, guys. I've got the fan page over here. There's a ton of people watching over on the fan page. If you have questions for these three, go over to the fan page, and in the pinned group post, you will see. Yes, you will see this stream. Just jot questions at me. I'll copy them and paste them, and our team will put them in a document. And I'll ask as many of your questions as possible. But I want to go first. Maybe it's selfish, but I've got a couple questions for these three ladies. But if you want to engage with us tonight, and you got some questions, maybe you're thinking about doing them, and you have a specific question about an industry or a component or the process, come over to the fan page. Let me know, and we will ask them. I don't know who wants to go on this one. I mean, there's many people probably on here who don't even know what a challenge is. So let's just start there. Can you guys tell us a little bit about what the heck this is and why it's so powerful?
Well, yeah, I guess can go through the sequence of how we do this. We start with a free 5-day challenge, and the whole purpose of doing that is to get leads, right, to bring people in, but also to put them in a controlled environment where we can build rapport with them quickly. And so we take they're completely cold leads into this challenge on Monday, and by Friday, they love us, wouldn't you say, Jen and Michelle? In 5 days, they love you. So Absolutely. It's pretty cool. You guys want to pick up from there?
Go ahead, Michelle.
Yeah, so the 5-day challenge, like you said, is a really good way to build that connection, and you can start to show your leadership. Some people, when they join the challenges, don't even know what attraction marketing even is. And you don't want to spend your time, drilling them on that. You just want to help them gain that confidence of being online. So I feel like that's really a good, when you give somebody something that they can feel good about, you've got a definite connection, and so throughout the 5 days, you're building that rapport, you're giving them this feeling that they, feel confident about themselves, and they want to stay around you, right? Don't you guys, when you find somebody that makes you feel good, you want to stay around them? And when you have these 10-day challenges, I feel like they're like, thank you for these 5 days. I want to keep going, So if you are making those connections and you're engaging with them on their videos and making them feel more confident, bring it. Let's do more, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Oh, I was just going to say, just kind of going off of what Michelle's saying is that the biggest objection, one of the biggest objections is, can I do it? That you have when you're talking to someone. And so during that course of those 5 days, if you're getting them to do it, and like Michelle said, like Lisa is saying about, wow, I can do this, my confidence, and guess what? Michelle, Lisa, Jen, or whoever, who's running the challenge, you're the one that got me there. Absolutely, I want to continue to work with you in whatever shape or form. For us, we have our different methodology of what we get them into. It's 10-day trial. But some of us, you can do whatever you want. It can be into your network marketing company. It can be into a paid product. It can be into anything, but that 5 days builds that rapport.
Yeah, so I think it's really critical, and we talked about this when we did the training before. I think that it's really critical, like Michelle said, in that 5 days, it needs to be something really simple, and they need to have a result, right? They need a success. So we're not teaching a lot when we're doing it. It's not really about teaching them a lot. It's about getting them to come out of their shell or getting them to have that success, whatever it is. And for everyone, it's kind of a little bit different. I think, what they need to do to feel that success. But also, I know she said, we're not really teaching them about attraction marketing, but we're kind of planting the seeds, don't you think? Like we don't really go into it a lot, but we're sort of planting that seed, I think, during those 5 days, which is kind of cool. So that they're like open and ready for the next step.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So thank you guys for all the questions so far. My goodness, over on the fan page, there's a ton of them. I swiped a couple of them. Okay, but to even preface this, guys, just so these guys, so for everyone who is watching, these challenges, what we teach here at Mlsp, Lisa alluded to it, is attraction marketing is leading with value. Okay, and I know there's a lot of brand new people on right now and watching the live and guests. We don't teach go out there and just pitch, sell, but rather build an audience, engage an audience, and sell an audience. That's the foundation of what we do. And everyone you see and love, adore on and follow and on stage, this is what they do, right? They build a brand. They go out there and serve a market. They find their audience's problems, challenges, and pains, and then they address them in the forms of content, blog, Facebook Lives, webinars, Facebook challenges. And this is just another way to get out there, stand above the pack, and be a leader in the eyes of your audience. So that's where we're at right now. And then, so they're going to go out there. All three of these women know very much their audiences, their number one target markets, problems, challenges, and pains. And so what they're doing is they are going, and there's a whole bunch of questions on how you guys are finding people. What are the exact steps? These guys are out there finding their audience where they're hanging out, and they're connecting with people and offering a free 5-day challenge to do X. If you're in health and wellness, it might be lose your first 5 pounds in 7 days. I think they do 5-day challenges. They're nice and short, and whatever the benefit, and that's comes back to, hey, you better know what business you're in, who you're speaking to, and what their challenges are. And then from that place, there are millions upon hundreds of millions of people on Facebook who want a solution to that problem once you find the audience. And so that's what they're doing. They're not to my knowledge, they're not spending any money on ads. There's already people asking about that. And they are doing 5 days of nothing but pure value. And there's already a ton of questions on what exactly you guys do each day. And then at the end of the 5 days, they are transitioning to, in this case, a 10-day trial with Mlsp. Okay, so that's where we're at. There's a lot of questions on what is a challenge, I hope that answered and cleared that up a little bit for you, and we'll get to the specifics. But is there anything else you guys want to lay or share on like the foundation before we get into the actual questions of what you guys are actually doing?
Do you guys have anything?
Pretty clear.
No, Brian, I think you got really clear on, you have to know your target audience. And
Right.
I think we've all been contacted. Okay, what exactly are you teaching? We've had that question quite a bit. I want to know exactly what you're teaching, but your audience for every single one of you who do your challenges is different, because depending upon how you brand yourself and who your target market is, because you can have millennials all the way to baby boomers and retirees. And even if you're teaching the same thing, how you teach it is different because of the target market that you have. And
I also think each challenge is a little different. You kind of have to look at who you bring in too. I mean, we're doing kind of the same thing every time, but what we're saying, what we're doing is not the same, at least not for me. It's not the same every time, because I have to take a look at who I have in there and what it is they need. And that's the most important thing right there is whoever you get in there, you got to know what they need and what they want and give it to them. Whatever that is, give that to them. And it doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be complicated. The simpler, the better. The easier, the better, right? You want them to see that this is easy, that it's simple, that they can do it. Like Jen said, they got to believe they can do it.
Yeah. Yeah, each group takes a different personality because it's different people that bring different things to each group. And so though you, as a leader, feed off of that, you find out what they need, you can give back to what they're asking for. And it's really cool how that happens.
Yeah, and it is. Each group is so different, huh?
Yeah.
So different, yeah.
Cool. So these challenges, guys, are everything that these ladies are talking about in a Facebook group, in a private Facebook group that they are managing. They are building rapport, building relationships, gaining trust. by showing their leadership and giving something of value first to their audience that they're not that they think is valuable, but that they know their audience is interested in. So these challenges are just Facebook groups that they are managing for 5 to 7 days. And then at the end, they are transitioning. There's a ton of questions already. Okay, at the end, how do you guys do it? What's the magic? So get ready for those questions. At the end of the challenge, they are transitioning and converting to sales, to coaching clients, to Mlsp trials, to new product. You know, if they want to take X and go and master it, they can hire these women or you, or that's different. It's all different based on your business. So that's, I hope there's a bunch of questions, which is great. We've got brand new people here on what exactly what all that is. I hope that's making sense. Awesome, good. I think cool. Lots of people, right on. Okay, so tons of questions about what is the first step? About there's a whole bunch. Georgiana Garcia is asking a handful of questions, and I'll summarize. Where should I want to go do these? I see these, you guys killing it. I see you hitting leaderboards. I see your students having success. What is step one?
Anyone?
Just to attract the people to the challenge, or just start the challenge?
I think maybe even just before before you even go and attract people to X, what is the first? Do you guys go create a Facebook challenge with it? Because I know you guys say that each of them are different. Are you creating a group and saying, hey, this is what I'm doing for the next 5 days, and then you go find the audience, or what is the methodology to really go and take step one?
And, you know, I think it's really important too that whatever it is, whatever your challenges that I mean, we know what we do, and we do it because it's what we're passionate about. It's what we're good at. It's what we know. It's important that whatever you want to do your challenge on, well, that your target market wants it, but also that it's something you're comfortable doing. Like if you're not comfortable doing video, don't do a video challenge, right? Unless you want to take them along your journey with you, you could do it that way. But it can be, we have one of our members that I brought in, Catherine, are you on here? She did an Instagram one. She had 100 people. It was her very first one. She had 100 people in her Instagram challenge, and it was amazing. And she's now bringing those people into the 10-day challenge. So it can be whatever. And someone else I noticed posted in Mlsp, they did a Twitter one, and they had like 80 or 100 people in there. So it's whatever you know, whatever you're passionate about.
Yeah, I agree. And kind of to talk off of what Lisa's saying is that kind of the first step is, okay, where do you want to guide people to? Like, what's your, after the 5 days? So we kind of talked it, what's your call to action, basically, is what we called it at the very end. Where do you want to lead people? So for us, it's the 10-day. It can be the product. But if that's where you're trying to guide someone, what's one of, I guess for lack of better words, what's the challenges that to buy? Why would you want to buy that product? And then walk them through a 5-day challenge to get at least one win. So they're like, oh, I want to continue. I want to now get the Blade product or whatever it is. I want more. So you got to know where you're guiding people first.
Right.
Yeah, you do. Because if it's your network marketing opportunity or your product, or even a product inside of Mlsp, it doesn't have to be Mlsp itself. It could be the blogging, product that they have back there, right? So, Michelle.
Right, exactly. I mean, I think it could even be translated, like, not into even Mlsp. Like, you could do a challenge for whatever your products that you're selling. If you wanted to do a quick little 5-day health program of some kind, and then transition them into, I don't know, something else. But yeah, definitely.
I've seen one of our members, and I'm sorry, I don't remember the name, but I signed up for a 5-day challenge. It was a shake challenge, like healthy shakes basically. And then it led into their actual network marketing product to buy it. I'm like, oh, wow. I told her it was a great product, and she's like, oh, I saw your guys' training.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
But they did it really, really well. So it isn't just info, to get into Mlsp. It really worked for anything, as long as you know where do you want to lead people, who's your target audience, and what kind of wins do you want to get for them.
Yeah, and I think I told you, Brian, before we started that I received a message from somebody that did a 5-day challenge, and I don't know what they did their challenge on, but they were leading into their MLM, and they recruited 2 people. Yeah, I think they only had like 5 people in it, and they recruited 2 out of 5 into their MLM. So that's awesome.
2 out of 5 people. I mean, is it worth it to do a 5-day challenge to recruit 2 people a week? Yeah, the answer is, well, I would say yes if I were you. Yes, guys, and just for more examples for everyone who is listening, you know, for example, if you wanted to sell Mlsp, you don't go out there and just do a 5-day challenge that sells Mlsp, like, you know, blatantly, like, hey, you know, go in there for 5 days and just pitch them, you know, every product Mlsp has. What would you do? You do what these ladies said. What is the end in mind is, I want to sell Mlsp. Okay, great. Well, what do they need to be sold on? What's the idea that they need to be sold on to buy Mlsp? And this is an example. Guys, this isn't like a passive webinar. This is, you have to get creative for your specific business. If it seems like this is a vague conversation, it means because we're not giving you a roadmap, because everyone's business is different. If I was an Mlsp and I wanted to go out there and get affiliates involved in or bring members into the company, I would do a 5-day challenge on attraction marketing, and I would teach them throughout 5 days the benefits of attraction marketing, of branding yourself, of multiple income streams, of creating content, right? Value, serving, leading with value, right? And building relationships. And I would break that up into 5 days, because every process, that is what we have here at Mlsp. Not only is it just going to teach you and talk about attraction marketing, it's going to allow an entrepreneur to execute, to actually go out there and implement. So that's an example of what I would do if I wanted to grow Mlsp. And all 3 of these guys, ladies, have already given you kind of kind of examples in different niches or shakes or products, or if you want coaching clients, you can give them a 5-day kind of walk in your world or value ladder that leads up to, at the end, you could get clients. Okay. So kind of still laying the groundwork here with what you could do for your specific business. Because like they've said, every business is different. Okay.
Right.
So we've got a lot of questions about, okay, cool. I know that I want this. I'm going to do I'm clear on my audience. I know their problems and pains, and I have an idea of a Facebook 5-day challenge, and I know what I want to offer at the end of it. How do I get people to it? Brian Gibbs is asking, how do I get people to it? Jeff Prow is asking, are you guys doing paid ads? Roxanne Roeder is, hey, how are you promoting? I mean, there's a bunch of questions here in the group. How are you guys doing that first step?
Go ahead, Lisa.
I feel like I'm always going first. Okay, sorry.
So kind to one another. It's so
I know, sorry. Not doing paid ads really. I might promote, like if I do a live where my call to action is leading them to the challenge, I might boost that, but I'm not really running paid ads to the challenge yet. I don't know if you guys are, but it's a lot of, where does your audience hang out, right? Or where is your target audience at? And that's kind of where we promote. We know where our target, we know who we're targeting, we know who we're speaking to, we know where they hang out. So that's where we go looking for them. And like Tracy Rose is on here. I know she and Kat have done amazing with their challenges. They're getting a lot of people into it, and I'm sure it's because they know where their target market hangs out. You know, it's different people than who we're targeting. So do you guys have anything, Michelle, Jen?
Yeah, go ahead first, Michelle. Go ahead.
Yeah, I go into the spam groups, I guess you can call them, and not, all of them are created equal. And some work some days and some don't work other days. Like one group, you might go in there and the people are just, the thread just gets huge, and other days it's crickets. So, I just share my real life experience in a story and just say, hey, and try to appeal to whatever pain or struggle they might be having and see if they can relate to what I'm saying. And I changed the story, a little bit. Honestly, it's the same story, but, I just try to word it maybe just a little bit different. And I try to use a graphic that might stop somebody from scrolling, so they might stop and go, what is this all about? And, when people start engaging on my post, then I am very deliberate in how I respond to the post. I try to make sure I tag the person so they know I've sent them a message, so that they don't mark my messages spam. I have learned the last 2 times I've done this, I have not gotten in Facebook jail from messaging. I tag them. And then I make sure to use a cute emoji. I know it sounds kind of silly, but I think it really connects people. And I'm noticing people sending me emojis back, and there's this cute little thing that happens between the thread. So rapport is already starting there. And, I send out a message saying exactly what is in the challenge and thank you for, wanting to know about it, and asking them, is this something that you're interested in, and trying to convey my message in a way that I'm actually legitimately trying to connect with them. I think that the first impression is very key. So, then from there, the conversation and the rapport starts. But yeah, standing out in the spam groups, it can be hard. But if you get creative, you can do it. And then once more people comment on your post, guess what happens? Your post is at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you keep adding those little emojis, getting cute, and having people have conversations. It puts your post to the top. So
give me an example here. If you guys are doing a chat, whoever, all three of you could answer this. If you're doing a challenge, say next week, could you guys give us an example of an audience you guys are going after, or a group of people, or maybe a post you're going to post on your fan page and then boost saying, hey, here's a 5-day challenge to get X results. And then, ping me, write yes below if you're interested, or reach out to me, direct message. Can you guys share with me like what that actual post, whether it's something you boost or inside a group or whatever, what that looks like or what that says?
Yeah, so I was going to share a little bit about, and just to kind of speak to MLSP, these are the things that MLSP teaches about how do you make your timeline so people, when you friend them, so building your audience, right? You send friend requests to people. And when you send friend requests and they see your timeline and you're providing value, it acts as your resume, basically. Mm-hmm. So that's one piece of it, is one piece of audience is grown through our timelines because we're providing value on there. The other pieces of it is the whole, when Michelle talks about it, when Lisa talks about it, about storytelling, those are things that you learn. It's you having a great graphic in a post, that's a skill set, like a copywriting skill set, basically, of knowing how do you hit the pain points of, hey, this is where I was at and I almost quit. And then guess what? I found this and this worked. And not only am I getting results, other people are getting results. I mean, that's kind of the format, wouldn't you say, ladies, of what our posts are about?
Absolutely.
And then we post them on our timelines. So that's part of our warm market, obviously, because we're building our audience. And then Lisa and Michelle, that's what we share also in those other groups where our target audience, like the spam groups. Well,
yeah.
And all they're posting about is posting all about their products to sell and their business opportunities.
Network marketing group, yeah.
Yeah, I don't post it on my timeline though. I don't know why, because I feel like if I did, I'd be posting it all the time. So it's not on my timeline. But I've also found too, I've done the long story posts like Michelle and Jen have done, but I've also found that sometimes doing it without a graphic works. Like that's what I did last week, and that seemed to work really well. Sometimes I'll just do a graphic, just in a couple, in a short paragraph, not even really hit those pain points, or want to learn how you can do this, comment below. So I'll promote it sometimes without actually saying I'm running a challenge. Instead, I'll hit on the pain point or the objective of the challenge. Want to know how to do this? Comment below. And then when I connect with them, I talk to them about the challenge. So I've done it like all kinds of ways. And to tell you the truth, like you said, it is kind of hit or miss, but it doesn't matter which type of post I use, they've all hit and they've all missed.
That's the grade, isn't it? They all work and they all have it. You just gotta test. Just do
I
it.
have found that Wednesdays and Fridays are excellent days to post. I think, I don't know why. I think Fridays people are feeling kind of like either they're frustrated that something didn't happen for them for their week and they're looking for something to save them or help them, or they're feeling good because it's the last day of the week, they're going into the weekend. I don't really know which. And then Wednesday is also a really good day too, because their spirits are still lifted from beginning the week and they're like, all right, yes, I want to learn something new. I mean, that's just kind of like, I tested a few days of the week and different times of the day where I would just like continuously post my same post just to see what would happen. And I noticed that Wednesdays and Fridays are like good days.
Isn't that funny? Because for me, Saturday is a good day.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I kind of use a Saturday.
Saturdays and Sundays are killer days for me. The rest of the week is, kind of
Crickets.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes it hard when you get all those comments on Sunday and you're trying to get people in Monday.
Right.
So it's like,
Cool.
I also noticed if there's a sense of urgency, like you said, on a Sunday, you're like, okay, we're starting on Monday. That's when you suddenly get like a bunch of people. So I feel like on my Friday post, people are like, okay, it's happening on Monday, and they're like, oh, I better get in.
Yeah, awesome. Guys, obviously, for everyone tuning in here, I mean, this is an engaging strategy. This is they're building their audience and they're engaging. I mean, if you could, they're just dropping gold here, whether it's in particular network marketing groups or your audience, groups that you can post things like this in. It sounds to me like not many paid ads, maybe posting it and then boosting it, maybe, or pinning it. Story posts, curiosity posts that say, hey, if you're looking to do X and Y or whatever that would be in your business, I've gotten that result, or, hey, I'm leading a challenge to help you get there. It's completely free that type of thing. They're kind of doing all sorts of different things. It sounds like with each individual challenge to get out there and promote it, to get upwards of 10, 20, 50, 100 plus. What's the biggest challenge you guys have run, the free challenges?
Oh, I don't know. We get somewhere between, for the free challenge, we get a couple hundred.
Couple hundred.
Or 250, I think, yeah.
Couple
What do you
hundred.
get, Michelle?
Yeah, I think I would say in the hundreds range for me. I only do it once a month, to be honest, and I don't promote it too extensively. I think if I promoted it more, I might even get more in there, but I sort of casually mention it. And so yeah, about 100 and some.
Yeah, well, and I should say too, when we do a challenge, I let everybody else I brought into MLSP invite to it. So I try to invite 100 because I don't want it, since Michelle, I don't want anyone to out invite me anymore. So I try, my number's 100. And then other people are inviting too. So
Yeah, Michelle, when she brought that in that one time, I'm like, oh man, like, let's go.
we had someone else do that. We had someone else do that too.
Yeah, we did.
I feel like I think my highest for the free video for you guys was like 135, and I wrote all the names down, and I was like, Lisa's gonna be like, what?
She's going, is this okay? Can I keep inviting more? Yeah.
Bring it, let's go. Yes.
Oh, I remember one day you go, there's so many people in here. It was awesome.
So guys, this is so cool. I mean, one other tip that I would do if I were running a challenge tomorrow is, this is, again, they've all said it, knowing your audience, knowing your target market. Who are the influencers? Who are the top 10 people whose audience you would love to have? Like you're in, health and wellness, you're in travel, you're a speaker, you're in, inspiration, motivation. Who are the top 10 people out there? And then go find those pages, find people and like follow 50 of the people who like them. Just just follow them. Don't friend them, just follow them, because they're probably going to, if you've got friends in common, they're probably going to start a conversation, start to engage with you. Okay, that's kind of that's before even asking them into a Facebook challenge or hosting, but that's getting the right people connected with you and building the audience and engaging with them. And then if you really guys, if there's a Facebook, if say for example, Michelle just got 25 trial members on Monday, right? Because of a challenge. What I would do is I would create an ad and I would target home business owners and say, hey, look, this is what I will do a 5-day free, so it maybe cost me maybe $100 over the course of like 5 days. I promote it $10 a day. I guess it's only $50. And then I would say something like, look, if you want to get 25 new team members in a day, or if you want to sell 25 products or do whatever, she would know the audience to pinpoint. You can very easily target that on Facebook and offer a free 5-day boot camp, 5-day Facebook challenge to help you get X results in your business. There would be like thousands of people in that challenge, and it would be super targeted, and it would grow like wildfire. And you just get like 7-8 different ways. I just threw in 2 off the cuff that you can get out there and start to get people involved in the challenge. Even if you're brand new, where your audience is hanging out. Maybe if you're day one, maybe you haven't gotten clear on that just yet, but you will. And this is one of the simplest strategies. All you need to know is your audience, where they're hanging out, and what are their pains and problems, and get good at whatever solving those top challenge. You don't need to be an expert to do this, but you just need to know a little bit more than they do to keep. I mean, it's free. What, are they going to get pissed off because they paid too much? Really? What's But it does require action. And you just got 7, 8, maybe even 9 tips on ways to get people into your challenge. So tell me, ladies, what is going on in the challenge? How do you guys manage your, and by the way, just for the record, is Lisa and Jen doing every challenge? Are y'all together at each challenge? Is this a group thing?
We're not together every challenge, Jen and I.
Okay, so some people ask me. Okay, so and then Michelle, you're doing your own challenges.
Yep, I do my own challenge. Yep.
Okay. So there you go, guys. Lisa and Jen, partners on some, and then they all do their own challenges as well. Okay, I'd love to hear, people are asking, what happens inside the daily challenge? Are you guys doing daily webinars? Are you guys doing daily lives? How do each of you manage a 5-day challenge for your audience?
For me, for a 5-day challenge, I want it to be short and sweet. There's not a lot of time. So I go live in the day-to-day touch with people is really important. I think that's how we're building our rapport with them. So I want to go live in the group every day. But I do not go live. I limit myself to 15 to 20 minutes, no more than that. So I'm just giving them some tips around whatever it is that the challenge that we're doing, and give them an action to take. I want them to take action because that's the only way they're going to see results, right? Is if they take action. So I go live, talk about something, teach them something, give them tips, tell them what I want them to do. And that's kind of how I move through the 5 days. I don't know about you guys.
I agree. I think keeping it, at least for us and our audience, of 15 to 20 minutes. When Lisa and I do the do the challenges, I get this sometimes from Lisa to cut it out. Stop. I mean, you're talking too much, Jen. But no, I mean, same thing. At least for the 5 challenge, big thing is you don't want to overwhelm your audience. If you overwhelm your audience, they will not take action. So you got to, and this is something that we learned, Lisa and I learned, is that we were trying to, like our first challenge, we tried to dump like everything on people. Hey, learn about attraction marketing and learn about this and that and the other. And it was very hard for the audience to take action. So short trainings, keep it simple, and have them take basically homework to do, because when you have them do that, take that action, you're going to move in your business. You agree, Michelle?
I absolutely agree. Yeah. I always post like midday on my 5-day challenge what they can expect to hear from me later on when I do my live. So I do my live in between daycare and work. So in the mid-afternoon, I post what the conversation is going to be about. So they're kind of getting ready. They're kind of excited. And then every day at the same time, I hop on, same thing, 15 minutes and talk. And, I be sure to, encourage them inside the group with whatever action I ask them to take and, engage with them that way. And I get tons of messages throughout the whole challenge too. So I'm engaging there and trying to answer some questions, even if it's outside of what the challenge is. Mm-hmm.
Cool. So, okay, inside the groups, it's tight. Facebook Lives, based, I would assume, on the subject matter that you promised them in the first place. That solves a problem. As we are professional problem solvers, everyone listening, that's all they're doing here is they're just giving their audience what they want, giving them, and Michelle letting her tribe, her challenge, know what to expect later in the day. I'm hearing not overwhelm, simple action steps so they can get little baby wins and moving forward and gain some momentum, start seeing some results. Anything else that you guys, in terms of like, are you guys replying to messages one-on-one? If you've got a group of 100 people, and I would assume you as the leader in that challenge, you're getting hit up like that. Is that a lot of work, or is that not, like, are they pinging you constantly, or is it not the case?
Depends.
Yeah, it does. Like, yeah, every group is a little bit different, I think. I try to encourage everybody to, if they have a question, to do it in the group, because usually if one person has the question, someone else does. So I really try to encourage that. But if I get somebody who's got this big, long thing that they're trying to figure out, I'll take it offline. I'll take it on Messenger with them and work with them one-on-one. But mostly I think, like Michelle said, it's going in there, with whatever the action step you're asking them to do inside the group. They're sharing it. For me, they're sharing what they're doing inside the group, right? So they can share it with everyone else. And then it's interacting with them on whatever they're doing, compliment, a lot of support, right? A lot of love, a lot of positive.
Encouraging, yeah.
Nurturing. I feel like there's a lot of love in these groups. They're, getting them moving forward and breaking through. Okay. And again, guys, each challenge is different. Some are, I think Lisa was saying earlier, some are, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Janet said something about a health shake. These are different businesses. So you have to get creative with how you can serve your audience and knowing what they want, and then just get out there and just jump off the cliff, man. Give them a 5-day challenge. You're going to learn so much, I would assume, in that first one. I know because they've said this before too. And you'll learn what works, what doesn't, what you like, what you don't, and you'll get better. Just real quick, Ellie has a good question about with Jen and Lisa, because you guys have done these together. How are you guys separate the leads? Like if there's, and even I know that, Lisa, you've got your team promoting sometimes your challenges. How do you decipher who's where and what link and all that stuff?
Yeah, so it's really nice because if you have a closed group, they invite to the group and then you approve them. And so it shows you who invited who. So we actually can keep track really well that way. The problem we have had, and we've even had that like when Michelle was in there, is we're all kind of in, we're in that same niche. We're kind of talking to the same people. We're doing Facebook Lives, we're promoting. And so people are on my lives and they're on Michelle's lives and they're on Jen's live, and there gets to be a little bit, you comment on her post to get into the challenge or whatever. And you just have to look at it. I actually had this conversation with a couple of people that were going to do this. You just have to look at it like they're going to connect with the person they feel a connection with. Right. And there's nothing you can do about that, right? I mean, I may have introduced them, but if they feel more connected to Michelle, then that's where they need to be. That's who they need to sign up, or Jen or whatever. So there is going to be, especially if you're doing it like when Jen and I do it together, there's going to be a little bit of I introduced that person first, but now they feel more connected to Jen, and
Yeah. And Lisa and I have a lot of conversations about that too, of what happens. But for us, we do make sure that we do say, hey, especially when we're doing a team one, is whoever invited you to this, if you want to do the next step, make sure that you reach out to the person that introduced you to this, and they'll get you signed up.
Yeah, and we even added something in our free challenge now, because we give a little guide with it. And so we've distributed that guide to everyone that invited people to it. So all our members that we brought in. And so we tell everybody in the challenge, we have a guide for you, but you need to get back to the person that invited you to get it. So it's kind of setting up those people as an authority and as a leader too, which I really like that when we just started doing that a couple months ago, and I really like that because now it's kind of raised them up to that leader level, which is cool.
With my group too, my affiliates that add people to my groups, I say make sure you're only adding people that you've talked to, that you've recruited, because I'm keeping track of who adds the person to the group. And every time somebody asks a question in the group that might be a referral of someone else's, I have that person handle that question, because I want to see them stepping up as leaders too, and not have just be me the only person, establishing the authority, if you want to call it that, or the leadership. So trying to promote the person who is learning, who just joined as an affiliate and is using, my challenge group to build themselves up while they're learning, pushing them to be leaders too, and saying, don't let me do all the work. I'm leading the challenge, but now you see your people coming in asking questions, answer those questions. You know what I mean? If there's something I think that they can answer, not the big ones, but
yeah, and that's good, and that's important.
Very cool. I love this because, guys, there isn't a better way to step into a leadership role and to learn about your audience, and you're going to build relationships. You're going to engage with people. They're going to ping you. You're going to get to know them. You're going to learn more about your audience in probably a 5-day challenge than you've had in the prior year, trying to figure out the right ad, offer, giveaway, just by engaging with the people who, like Tony Robbins, if you're a transformation coach, if you get 10, 20, 100 people in a challenge, just managing that. And then, of course, having the end goal in mind, like what is the outcome we want for them? Maybe you want to be one of their coaches. You want to pick up 5 or 10 more clients this month, or whatever that could be. How could you serve them for 5 days, and then at the end of the 5 days, it's a no-brainer to step up and continue the journey with you. I just love it. Something Michelle just said. Just really the relationship part and the engagement part, guys, it's awesome. I love this what we're talking about here. Lots of questions. Guys, I've copied and pasted a lot of questions. And I know this is making sense to a lot of people. A ton of people watching on Facebook right now. The big one, once we get the group, okay, once we understand, we know what we want to sell, we find our audience, we invite people, or somehow one of the 9 different ways to get people into the challenge we went over. We go through the 5 days, provide the value, build the rapport and relationships. How do we transition to the sell? How do you get, the 25 members in a day? How do you get the new product buyers? How do you get the new clients? Is there a secret? Basically, there's a ton of people asking this question. Is there something you say or specific script that you will point to at the end of the challenge for them to buy or to learn more? Or how do each of you do that?
Michelle, how do you get 25 people in one day? Because I get mine over a period of time. I don't do it all in one day.
Okay, so what I do is, of course, I have a start date of when we're going to start the challenge. Okay. And I say the challenge is going to take place from here to here. And sorry, guys, my daughter's still awake.
Sorry, people are saying they love that.
Quinn, you can be here, but let's be kind of quiet. Let's color here. So, 1 second. Quinny, I'm real busy right now. Okay? Color a picture for me. This is real life.
Daddy's trying to get me to change my poopy.
Okay, well, you go do that and come back. I hope nobody just heard that.
No, none of us did. None of us did.
Okay, so anyways, so I have a start date for the group. And I let everybody know that just like when you guys do your groups, you do a Sunday conversation about what's going to happen in the group. So I do a live during nap time to explain exactly what to expect from me, from the challenge, and you know, exactly what I expect from them, and you know, just the fact that, you know, we're going to be doing this trial. This is what you're going to be exposed to. I try to tell them that I don't want them to walk away having taken this challenge and not done anything about it. That I'm going to hold them accountable, and that that I'm going to be their biggest cheerleader, but I'm definitely going to be somebody who is going to push them outside of their comfort zone. And at that point, like I'll start with like 145 people saying they want to do this, and then I'll dwindle it down to the people who actually do, you know, go through with it, which I love because I want people who are serious, right? So then I let them know I'm not giving them the link to sign up until 6 a.m. the next day. Watch for it. Everybody pay attention. And now that I have affiliates adding into my group, I have them send the link to register in a private message so that nobody is like accidentally signing up under somebody else. And so it's everyone's really waiting. They're excited. They want to join. They're waiting for that link, and they sign up. And then if they don't sign up by Wednesday, then I say, well, would you like to join the next challenge? Because this challenge really will require a lot from you, and I really want you to get the most out of it, you know? And I feel bad sometimes. People are like, but I want to sign up. And I'm like, no, you can't. Not until the next one. So then there's that, you know, scarcity factor that happens. But it's not really a scarcity. It's like I'm actually legitimately wanting to hold them accountable. Like I legitimately want them to walk out of here and be able to go get leads and legitimately learn. So I'm being, you know, completely open and honest. And also because I have so many people in the group, I don't have time to go back and like get everybody caught up all the time. So I let them know on Sunday that this requires action on their part. Like we're all starting at this time, we're following along here. Yes, you can do it at your own pace, but you have to take some level of responsibility as well. So I guess I treat it like a real class, you know what I mean? So, sorry guys, say hi.
Hi.
Yeah, I guess.
Washing my poop.
Okay, sorry guys. Can you guys edit that out?
I remember the first conversation I had with Michelle was a Zoom. Do you remember this? The
Yes.
first one, it was a Zoom, and she was in the background without her clothes on, doing dishes, playing water at the sink.
Anybody can do this business.
That's right.
Love it. What it's about.
I think that's why so many people sign up at once, because I tell them to. Want to join the class?
What a concept, guys. She just tells at the end of the challenge, if you're asked, there's so many people asking how did the transition, just tell them. Just say, hey, and so it's a deadline, Michelle. You're saying, look, I don't want you to be left behind. Here's what we're doing. It's a deadline on whatever, midnight, noon on Sunday. We start on Monday for the paid group, and you're going to guide them, or they get access to you in another group for members only. And we just continue building their brand or building their knowledge, whatever the group is.
Yeah. So the first day is orientation day. I just get them all set up and have them set up their accounts and do the new member orientation, just getting acquainted. And that day actually is the hardest day, you know, because you're answering a lot of questions and getting people comfortable. And then I tell them not to look around the system because I want them to focus on what we're doing. And so it's really like this, like, it's kind of a mad dash the whole day, I feel like. And it's like signing up for school. It's like, get everybody in, register, get your backpack, get your supplies, get your, you know, all this stuff. And then Tuesday we start digging in, you know. But yeah, I try to, by Wednesday, I say, if you haven't gotten all set up, we're hitting this hard. So, you know, get signed up or do the next one. So people take it kind of serious because I take them out.
So
Yeah,
I know
so-
there's a whole bunch of questions.
That's okay. One thing I think part of the confusion here is too, and I'm guessing this probably happens with you too. We do that 5-day challenge. That's building rapport. That's kind of growing our audience. We're not necessarily taking that whole group from that 5-day challenge into the 10-day. We're re-promoting for that 10-day. For the most part, we're bringing new people in. Now, people that have done our 5-day challenges, the free challenges, do end up joining one of the 10-day challenges, but it may not be that one. So it's not always we're taking this group and we're moving them into this one. It's like a whole new promotion, right? Yeah. It's a whole new thing. Now they may come join us. We're definitely telling them about it, telling them that it's coming up and that, that they can join it, that they might want to take a look at it. But it's a whole new challenge for us.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that the 5-day one helps you to build rapport with people who might not be comfortable to pay $10 off the bat, not having known you.
Yeah.
You have an opportunity to like build that rapport and trust and have them see what you're made of.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we're also, then we're doing lives all the time because we do we're doing other promotions or you do lives and stuff too. And so now those people that were in that 5-day challenge are watching you. They're watching everything else you do. And so they're watching you promote. And so, I'll get one a couple months later that'll go, okay, I want to do your 10-day challenge.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. But you can, this really, I think a lot of people are like, okay, let's focus on what are you doing for the 10 days? What's the 10? It really, like I do things a little bit differently. I actually promote into the 5-day challenge that Lisa and I do. I actually talk to them and then I promote into a paid product basically. That's separate. And so that just works better for me. And then from there, I kind of filter depending on what's the best fit for them. It works. The 5 days is all about rapport building. And then it goes into anything that you wanted. It's not just MLSP. It's not just, it works into anything as long as you know your target audience and you know where you want to guide them.
Yep.
So, and this is awesome. I'm glad you said that, Jim, and what's even cooler, and I guarantee these women have had conversations with people in the group and probably recommended different stuff based on what they get as they build, the relationship. If it's an MLM, some maybe don't, maybe they don't have a business and they want to work with them in their MLM. How beautiful is that versus just promoting to MLSP and they want to, they're looking for an actual business, which MLSP is not, right? We are an education platform with tools, community, training, software to help you build the MLM. So it's also, as you build that rapport in the relationship, different dynamics starts to unfold from that space as well. And just to be clear, so the 5-day challenge is done. And then you're going to transition into a paid 10-day, whether it's a trial, whether it's a paid product or a coaching client. What happens? Are you removing everyone who paid out of the 5-day and into a new one? And then are you keeping everyone who didn't pay in this one group and that just grows organically over time or until they leave?
So we keep the free challenge group is separate. And we used to get rid of everybody and start fresh every time. And now we keep everybody in there because what I've noticed is, and it happened just again, I started another free 5-day challenge and you'll get people that actually joined back in March, but never did anything. And now they're all of a sudden doing that free 5-day challenge. So leaving them, or they come up and say, hey, I want to know more about that 10-day challenge. So we leave them in the free challenge. And so the 10-day, we're doing a 10-day trial, Michelle and I, and so separately, but that's a separate group.
Yeah.
Than that challenge group.
Yeah.
In the free one.
And when I remove people from my 10-day challenge, I actually put them. I just keep a list of names, and I check in with them, later to see if it works for them to do another one. But I want them to stay in the group long enough to see that if there is legitimate value in the group, that it isn't a scam, there isn't anything, weird happening, that they're actually getting way more than their $10, would even cover. So some people sit back and they're just a little bit leery, you know, but then by Thursday it's like, okay, it's time.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, cool. There you go, guys. A lot of people are asking for about that, Karen. So it's they keep the 5-day going, and it's just some people need to, you know, more than 5 touches to sign up, and they keep it going, and they move the paid into whatever the next challenge would be. And for example, if it's MLSP, are you guys for 10 days is in that paid group? Is that just all your members indefinitely, or do you actually? Is it just a hard 10 days and then you kick them out of the group or close the group down?
Yeah, we close the group down. Yeah. And we have a, you keep yours open?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I think eventually I want to add them all into one group at some point. But so far what I've been doing is keeping them open so that they can continue to network. Because what I want to see within my 10-day groups is I'm trying to build community so that even if they don't end up, you know, joining me in MLSP, or they don't join my network marketing company or something, that they're still getting value and that they at some point might come back is the idea. But I want to keep that group alive and growing. But personally, I think that I need to start putting them all into one after they're done, just because it gets to be a bit to manage. But I don't want to just let that fizzle out. You know what I mean? I want to keep those relationships growing. You know what I mean? And I promote them all connecting with each other as well.
Yeah. So we have one group that we put everybody in that's just value sharing group. I don't know. We share stuff. We share this. We share this in that group all the time. We share our lives in there. So all the people that have done any of the challenges with us are in, like you said, you want to create that one big group. We have that one big group, and that's where everybody, we funnel everybody into there and clean up the 10-day challenge group.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. Jen, you good with that one? Anything you want to add to that? Yeah.
No, that's
okay,
perfect.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. There you go, guys. That's how they kind of manage the transitioning from the free to the paid, and now you know kind of what these 3 are saying to transition. Well, Lisa, Jen, do you guys want to add anything to what Michelle said in terms of once your guys' free training or free challenge is over? Is there anything you guys specifically do that's working to get the sell or to push them over the edge to buy whatever the challenge, you know, the outcome, the goal is?
Yeah, so I always have a list, you know, a running list of people that have gone through the challenge, people that we've connected with, and I'll say, okay, how did the challenge go? They'll say to me, they did or they didn't do it. If they didn't do it, I'm like, okay, well, you know, take some action. So they're not ready for the next step, but someone who has done the challenge, they've gotten results and they love it and they want to work, and then, okay, all right. So talk to me more about your particular business. And what are some things that you think that you need a help with? I mean, by that time you can ask those questions. What are their needs, pain, struggles? And then based upon that, they'll tell you, well, I'm looking for leadership and I haven't had that before. And they're looking for another network marketing company. Oh, okay. So then my primary business is a great fit for them. And then, or I'm looking for X, Y, and Z. And then depending, I might filter them into usually kind of, for me, the paid product, just because it's that next step for them, you know, and then after that, usually that's another rapport building thing. And then after the, you know, I've had a couple of people, Jen, don't ever leave me. Don't leave me. And so for them, those are and who've actually taken action on that piece of it, then it's, okay, what's the next step? It's always what's the next step that you need assistance. And for that, then it's coaching through MLSP. That's at least how I do it. Lisa, how do you reach out to people and then close them?
I do the high touch. I'm talking to everybody. I like to do that. One of the things I wasn't doing in the beginning is as people were like coming, especially with the video challenge, because it was so many people, I wasn't adding them as friends. And I started doing that now. And so, because that way, you know, now they're seeing all my lives, they're seeing my blogs, they're seeing everything else I do. So we're constantly refreshing our friends list, I guess, right? which is nice. And so you'll get people, yeah, then that are, even if they didn't go from the free challenge to the paid challenge, about a week later, because they've seen your lives and they've seen what you do, they're like, okay, I think I want to do that. So
that's really smart, because I mean, guys, marketing, you know, it's anyway, different books will tell you different things, but 7 to 11 plus times they need to see it before they buy. If they go through the group, you know, their challenge, and then they start seeing all your beautiful content, you start really, you know, if you can gain that mind share and be in their face all the time, that's a good thing. And you've already, they know you're the real deal. They're still friends with you. They've been through the challenge. Maybe the timing wasn't right, but next month when their kid goes off to school, boom, your live comes up out of nowhere, and they know where they're going when they're ready, you know, and it's those seeds, that's the longevity. That's the, you know, really just leading with value, servant's heart, and, you know, asking for the sale, of course, but if the time isn't right, you don't just say, you know, that's the beauty of attraction marketing, guys. Like what most of us used to do before this is, if there was no sale, the relationship is done. The beauty of this is that if you're just cool and you really want to serve an audience with a message and want to help them solve their problems, this is a long-term play. And that's where these 6- and 7-figure businesses come in. It's not an overnight one and done, because then you got to just keep filling the pipeline, because it's just, there's a very different approach with these ladies and what they are doing. And it's not a mystery as to why this works. I hope you guys are seeing that from the outside looking in now. And they are human. I promise you, I've met 2 of them live. They are human. Okay. So beautiful, awesome answers. A lot of loose end questions. There's no way we're going to get to all of them, guys. And I appreciate all the questions and all of the comments over on the fan page. Robin is asking, do you guys, is this, it looks like it is all purely Facebook, but Robin's asking, do you keep this all purely in Facebook, or do you collect their email and contact details before the challenge, like with the landing page, or are you putting them into a CRM, or are you just into the group and on we go?
So with our free challenge, we were not collecting their emails, but we were, adding them as friends and keeping them in the group. So we were still in touch with them. But then we were giving, we had a guide that we were just uploading in the file section of the group so they could just download it. So now we've taken that out of there, and in order to get that, we email that to them. So that's how we're getting their email addresses now. But we weren't in the beginning.
We weren't. We were just giving it as a bonus. Now we offer it as a toolkit as part of the challenge to kind of incentivize of, hey, yeah, you can go through the challenge, but this toolkit enhances your experience, basically.
Yeah.
How about you, Michelle? Are you?
I am not collecting email addresses. I probably should start.
I wouldn't ask that question just to tell you guys we're wrong for not doing it. I think that you guys are timid to say, it's okay, you guys are doing an awesome job. It's like, I didn't think you would. I thought it would just be reaching out, connecting, and then bringing them in. And then as you build the relationship, maybe, hey, hop on my newsletter for this free gift or this free, whatever, or register for this webinar, and then they're on your list. That's another super easy.
Yeah. Well, and I think they do eventually get on there another way.
Yeah.
They're seeing that.
Yeah, I don't think it's a necessity by any means. You can do, certainly that's what Lisa and I were doing, and that's what Michelle does now, that's how we started, not collecting emails. We do now, that's just,
But that's not how we're building the relationship.
No.
We're building the relationship in the challenge groups. And so.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Just replying to a bunch of these. Okay. Miss Rose, what's up from Australia? I know she's doing awesome with these two. You guys have a lot of students who are actually already doing what you guys have been teaching, which is great, and with success too. So congratulations to everyone on. Rose is asking, hello friend, I kind of fumbled my way from the 5-day challenge to the 5-day free challenge to the paid 10-day challenge. How can I make that call to action better? Is there any specific thing? We kind of just answered this, Tracy. But is there transition from 5 to 10? Is there anything other than just go do it? building relationship, any aha, like I guess then there are still questions about that, but are there any things you guys want to hit home as to going from the free to the paid to get buyers?
Yeah, and we talked about this when we did the training. When we first started doing this, we did a webinar at the end of the 5 days that led, and then we led them into the 10-day challenge. And we did it on different things, different topics. We tried different topics to see, you know, what converted better, but we just did like an attraction marketing webinar and leading them into the 10-day. One day we did like a how to build your list webinar, I think one time. We just did different webinars, and that's how we would lead them in there.
Webinars. Cool.
I don't know if that helped a lot. I feel like Jen talks to the people she brought in. I talk to the people I brought in. You know, I feel like that high touch conversion works better for us, but you can. The webinar would be the other way, I guess, Michelle.
I start planting seeds about like the second day in, and I just like casually mention I have a 10-day challenge. And then, you know, the next day I say a little bit more about the 10-day challenge, and I talk a little bit more about it, and then I just keep going. And then by like probably on Thursday, I'm like, hey, you know what? Tomorrow's the last day. I have this 10-day challenge that starts on this day. You know, if anybody is interested, you know, please comment me. I'll get in touch with you. And then by the last day, I really promote it at the very end. So it doesn't always happen right away, but same thing. I keep all my people in the same video challenge, so they're watching all the time, and then they come back and say, you know, I've been watching you this long.
Yeah. Awesome, great, good stuff. A lot of insight there. Do you guys do any exit interviews? This is a cool question William's asking. Do you guys do any exit interviews or questionnaires after each challenge to get feedback?
We haven't, but no, we don't. It's a great suggestion, though. But no,
but we have yet to have anybody complain and ask for their money back.
I do send a message saying it's the last day of the challenge. You know, I'm so glad I was able to be a part of your life for this period of time, and look forward to hearing about your progress. So trying to get another conversation started.
And we also encourage a lot of, in some ways, collecting testimonials for lack of better, like we'll say, hey, you know, as you guys are getting wins, make sure that you post these in here to make sure that number one, like you're showing it's doable, and encouragement for other people, celebrating every win that you're getting. And then what we do is we do take some of those testimonials and kind of help to promote for another challenge, just working with us. So yeah.
Cool.
So we do
Awesome.
that.
No, go ahead, Jen. What are you gonna say?
Oh no, that was it.
I love that testimonial stuff. Very important as you continue. I mean, guys, what if you promoted the testimonies you gathered for people to join the free challenge? I mean, it's free. It's free. Let me repeat, this is free. There is nothing, guys, if they get upset with you because they don't feel they got value, who cares? Just do it. Just do it. Just go do it. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You learn a few things, you get over the fear of, you know, this leadership role and stepping out, and which is actually a question here. Are these, Miranda's asking, are these challenges offered through Mlsp? Not really. We have kind of like our challenges, like we get you through a start here and then guide you whether you want to do funnels, blogs, training, set up your own, you know, go out there and get your own, like it's not really a 5-day challenge the way these ladies are doing it. Or do you just throw yourselves out there, and how did you overcome that? With that, I think she means like the fear. Maybe how did you just pull the trigger one week and say, I'm ready? How were you guys ready, each of you?
Serving, you're serving your audience.
I'm not sure we were ready.
Yes.
You know, we just,
Awesome.
we knew we needed to do something, and I don't even know how we got here, Jen. I don't know how we got to the challenges. I really don't. But we were just trying to figure out how to get people to experience Mlsp, I guess, or a part of it without having to buy in right away, I think is probably what we were trying to do. We were trying to build our audience and touch a lot of people at once. That was one of our goals. But I don't know, we just went for it.
Yeah.
Just went for it.
I think one of the things that we kind of, through one of our challenges, what we tell people is it's actually not about you. You have to kind of get over that. It's not about you. It's about, if no one actually heard your voice that needed to hear your voice, you're not going to change that life. And so you just got to do it and stop thinking about yourself, because if you don't show up, then there's going to be how many lives that are not going to be touched. And it's your responsibility to do it. That's it. They need to hear your story.
They need to hear your story. Everyone has a story. They could hear the same story from me or from Jen or from Michelle, and it was not going to touch them the same way as if they were to hear it from you.
Right.
Yeah.
Love it. Cool. Cool. I know that that's the only reason you wouldn't do a challenge yourself starting tomorrow. And maybe brainstorm some ideas. You have enough value. You can extrapolate, or I don't know if that's the right word. You can expand on an idea over 5 days and just help serve your audience with one. If you know how to create a couple images on Instagram, if you know how to use WordPress at all, if you've ever, maybe you're really slick at Google Calendars and helping people schedule their time better. Maybe you're good at I don't know, mindset. Maybe you got some great idea, transitioning or mindset. If you have some skill set, and you don't need to have crushed a 5-figure a month business to do this. For me, that was a hang up before I started doing things. Was once I get to 5 figures, then I'll do it. Well, that's how you get to 5 figures. That's how
we didn't have 5 figures.
Guys, we're all human. These stories, these made-up beliefs, these things that keep us out of the the uncomfort, the unfamiliar. We want to stay safe, right? Our ego wants to keep us there, and so stories. That's the only reason why you wouldn't do what these guys have been doing over the last few weeks to really build nice businesses. That's the only reason why you wouldn't do it, because there's not techie. You go to Facebook and just start a group, right? That's it. You find your audience on Facebook. You find the influencers they're following. Go connect with them. Go find, the spam groups, as Michelle said. Go boost something, and invite people. Go create an ad. Go follow people who are, fans of X person, if that's the audience you want. You've gotten tangible tips starting, literally 15 minutes into this webinar, and steps that they are doing. Kind of just woven throughout this entire interview that is pure gold. And I would just challenge all the people watching, just go do something, right? Because you can't say anymore that your business doesn't work, or you can't say that you don't have people to talk to. You now have something you can do. It doesn't cost any money at all. It costs a little bit of time, right? You got you know what to do now. What's the excuse? What could be? I don't know. What could be the excuse? I don't know. Trisha is asking for you guys, once you guys get them, this is an Mlsp question, I guess. If you guys sign up trials in these challenges, are you guys actually hand holding them through the start here and setting up this and that and doing it with and for them in the process?
No, we're guiding. We have become really good tour guides.
Love it.
Right? We want them to, I want them to experience Mlsp. I want them to become immersed in Mlsp. I want it to be a part of them so that they cannot imagine their life without it. So I am just directing them to things that, I know that they're going to love, that's going to have an impact, that's going to give them results, or, impact their lives in some way, in a positive way, so that they get that right off the bat. And so one of the things that we do right away, encourage them on that day one, we do the same thing. We get them on that Monday night new member orientation, and we have them set up their account, and we have them schedule that onboarding call, because that has converted people when we couldn't. When people said, no, I'm just here for the 10 days, we've got them on that onboarding call, and they convert. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I take advantage of the wake up calls a lot. I focus
too.
a lot on the wake up calls. And I spend a lot of time, talking about it and, working on mindset, in my challenge. So it's like the very first thing I post every single morning is a mindset meditation that they could repeat to themselves and, reprogram their thoughts for the day. And then, I like really boost up the wake up calls a lot. And the community. I boost up joining the Mlsp Pro, the fan page and the official page so that they're around other people who are building their businesses online too, because I think a lot of us are kind of lonely in our industry because we don't have maybe the support of our families or what have you. So I try to really expose them to the community of Mlsp, So I don't know what you could do on the outside of if you were promoting a different business, you could, if you created your own tribe of some kind, creating that community, I think people want to feel like they're a part of something. That's really attractive.
Well, I know with our the business that I'm in, we have groups too, and so we kind of do that same thing. We kind of immerse them into the groups, and so I would guess that hopefully, but if your business doesn't have it, you can create your own tribe, right?
Yep.
I'm watching you guys do it right in front of us. Love it. And here's a shameless plug from Mlsp. I guess I could be biased, but I think these gals would agree. That's the beauty of Mlsp. Like if you're in a business at any capacity and your audience wants to learn about the internet, wants to learn about branding, wants to get leads, wants to learn how to build an audience and get a voice out there, build a message. Every person you talk to is a prospect here. Like, okay, you've got X business, great. How are you doing with lead generation? Oh, you don't have a blog, you don't have a brand yet, you don't have buyers coming to you every day. Would you like that? And then it's not a hard sell. It's just, hey, these guys they teach and train that stuff and they help you build any business in any space, which is why it's so valuable. I mean, if you're just going with one income stream and you're out there pushing and you're getting, 80, 90% of the people saying no, those 80, 90% of the people possibly very well, if they already have a business or they love their current products and services, and it's through these challenges will open so many relationships for you that you can just point to solutions like Mlsp that they actually need if they want to play online. It's one question that I know our top affiliates use all day long. That's great. You love X business. Well, how are you doing with leads? Would you like to get more leads? Would you like to build that audience? Would you like a little bit of leverage through the internet? Would you like people coming to you? Like those are questions that most business owners would all say yes to. There was a question here. Where'd it go? Okay, I think I deleted that before I started my rant. Okay. Just looking for like the burning ones here, some good ones as we wind down. You guys have been, again, so generous and gracious with your time here. Couple questions I'm seeing a little bit about like the homework. Can you guys just elaborate on that? And then we'll probably just get maybe your final thoughts on a lot of people are, I really want to get a little bit deeper onto what you would recommend if someone like gets what you guys are teaching and training on and they get excited about it, but they're just not, they don't feel like they're ready. I'd love to get your guys' take on that or some advice from your experiences. But before that final question, can you give us a little bit on I forget which one said homework each day. I think it was Lisa. What specifically, no, is it not? No.
I give them action steps.
Action steps. It was okay. So Sullivan's the homework.
But I think those guys are the homework people.
Okay, get in the show. So tell me, there's a handful of people asking if we go start this live, if we go start a challenge tomorrow, what are the actual, can you give, I know it's going to be different for each group, of course, but like, can you give examples of homework steps that you've given, on a day-to-day basis within your specific groups?
Go ahead, Jen.
I was trying to, well, so it's been different, but I mean, like one action step, like if we're going to go with video was, okay, what's a topic that you want them to do that particular day? So it gives some guidance, and the training's around that, but there's a specific topic that you need to do a video on today. That's an example. Or let's say I have, you know, something where it's around setting goals. Okay, this is the first step of your goals, of setting a goal. You know, this is your action step for today, to creating a reasonable goal to make your particular income that you want to make. So that's kind of what it's one step, it's 1 or 2 steps, but you know, if they're going to take it, that they're going to move their business forward. That's all you want, is take the next step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do same thing with the video. There's a topic every day. You know, choose a type of video to do, and then with the 10-day, I have them, you know, start off with vision and goals. You know what I mean, and talking, like, just planting the seeds that I want them to work on that past the 10 days. And then I do 5 major assignments, I guess, you know, and for their whole 10 days, there's just 5 assignments. And I create like fill in the blank worksheets, I guess. So they have to pay attention to the videos.
That's cool.
You know?
Nice, Jen.
Okay, so here's a fill in the blank worksheet. Not too hard, but you have to pay attention. And really what I'm trying to do is guide them to the key points. You know, so I structure it so they have to really pay attention. It's not super hard, you know what I mean? They're not like, oh my gosh, I have to go back. It's like, it's pretty easy, you know. And then over the weekend, I have them work on vision and goals. And I plant a lot of seeds throughout the weekend where I'm posting different things about vision and about goals. And there are like 2 or 3 posts over the, you know, each day over the weekend, just reminding them you still have to work on that vision and those goals and keep working on it. And my call to action is that I don't want them leaving the 10 days without having done anything for themselves. And I say, you know, you can pay $10 and let it go in one ear and out the other, or you can actually sit down and do something about it. So I'm constantly calling them out on that and saying, you know, past these 10 days is when you're actually going to start to grow. Right now, you're taking in a lot of information, you know, and my homework, I guess, even beyond the 10 days is to do it for 90 days. So I asked them to, you know, follow these steps, the daily mode of operation, all of that, for 90 days. So, yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
There's all your homework stuff, guys, and more part of like what are they doing inside their groups to get results and to get their people moving forward. Final question, y'all. Tell me a little bit more about hundreds of people watching this right now. I know that, I mean, they see your guys' results. They see you guys, your students, they see that these challenges are working, but I'm stuck. And I there's fear, there's this or that or a story. How did you guys, in particular, how did you guys get the courage to just step up and put yourselves out there and just jump into this leadership role? Probably when you weren't ready, but how did you do it?
I think Jen nailed it on the head. It's not about you, right? It's about other people.
Yeah.
I think part of it too.
You know,
is that,
I've seen.
Oh, go ahead, Lisa. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I have seen a lot of people in the community here that are brand new, that have stepped up and done it, and I've talked to a lot of them, which has been really nice. And can I call out some names? I know, like Mary Beth was a little nervous about doing hers, but she did it. She only had 5 people in it, but she got 2 people into Mlsp out of those 5.
Awesome.
So, and Susan was really nervous, right? I think she's in the success stories, but she got people into her MLM. So, and they're, you know, and Susan was pretty brand new, I think. I don't know how we got over it. I know that I think I was really thankful that the first challenge group wasn't very big. So there wouldn't be a lot of people that would watch me fail if I did. Yeah, I don't know.
I think part of it is I think we knew we had to take some kind of action. And it was, if I don't take action, I am going to get nowhere. I'm going to be stuck exactly where I'm at, that, you know, hoping and wishing and praying. And if I actually don't do this, I'm not going to, you know, we talk about, Michelle talks about mindset, you know, Lisa, the vision, right? You have that vision. I'm not going to get to that vision if I don't move my butt and actually do something. Like that vision isn't going to just show up in front of me. I can wish and hope, but if I don't take action, you got to do it. And yeah, I was grateful too. There were many people initially.
Well, I feel like what's the worst that can happen? I mean, if we took action and you know, nobody signed up, we weren't any worse off than if we didn't take action. We were actually better off, because at least we were moving forward. At least we were trying something. I mean, we didn't know if it would work. We didn't know. And as a matter of fact, I don't think we were very successful the first time at all. But, you know, we knew we needed to do something. And what's the worst that can happen?
Right.
You just get better.
Yeah. And what's the best? We're getting
what's
to
the best?
The three.
And
what's
that's
the best? The three of us are being interviewed. I mean, like,
that's what we were focused on. What's the best? But if we succeed.
Awesome. That's a big distinction, y'all, what she just said. I mean, instead of focusing on all the things that could go wrong, what could happen? What do I actually want to happen? And here we are a couple months later, and they've had a lot of exposure, a lot of people coming up to them now, and we're probably going to create a system campaign around this, and probably a strategy back there that's going to be all these three gals.
Can we have a true confession? Can we have a true confession?
Please.
Are you ready, Jen?
Yeah.
So when we started this idea, Jen and I, we said, what if this is something that just does so well, we get to be on the Wednesday webinar?
Crazy.
What if we really have something here? What if it becomes a system campaign?
Your thoughts became a reality.
It's pretty amazing, y'all. Planting the seed.
We didn't know if it would. We didn't know, you know, what we were doing. We didn't know if it was the right thing to do. We just.
But I can guarantee you this: it could not have even been a possibility had you not done it. And here we are. Yeah, and then most likely will become something very big inside of Mlsp that we point a lot of people to. So because again, when we look for stuff like that, we look for one thing: it's results. You can't argue with what these gals are doing, with what their students are doing in the results, and it's doable. And it's Jen and Michelle, I didn't mean to cut you off. You guys go ahead and if you guys wanted to throw more mindset stuff or things, if you can relive, you know, the first, and I love that you guys probably didn't have success in the first challenge. Guys, that's liberating. You shouldn't have to have, it's new. You shouldn't have success with it. You're probably going to suck at it when you first do your first one. It's part of doing business. You weren't good at riding a bike when you first hopped on it. You weren't good at driving stick shift, right? My brother's still not good at stick shift. Hi, Jim. But no, guys, it's new. It's new. That doesn't surprise me. The first funnel is probably going to flop. Your first webinar is going to suck. But these are the things that you should be doing to build the business. You just got to get over it. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox.
I'm kind of jealous of all the first successes out there, I'll tell you.
Yeah, me too.
I am too. Because you know what? Like, geez, like lives. Oh my gosh! I keep on telling people I sucked. Go to my first one. No, you do. You know, unless it's a skill set. This is a skill set. This isn't a hobby. This is a skill set. And you're gonna suck at the very beginning, but you get better and better. You do. The more you do it, you just gotta do it.
Yeah, love it. Michelle, anything?
How did I get over the fear?
Yeah, just if you can remember the first challenge that you actually hosted, not that you leveraged Jen and Lisa, but that you actually stepped up and ran.
Well, my very first one was when you guys took a break and did the 30-day challenge. And I had a whole, as you guys remember, a lot of people I was funneling in. And I was like, oh no, I had promised all these people I was going to do this 10-day challenge, and now there's this 30-day one. And I didn't have the belief in myself to promote the 30-day. You know, I was so new that for me to promote the 30-day was a real stretch. And so I decided that either I was going to have to figure out how to get past the fear of promoting the 30-day or create my own 10-day and figure it out. So I did. I created my own 10-day. I researched what I wanted to put into it and how to structure it. And I would stay up super late. As a matter of fact, even when I did my very first 10-day, I didn't even have the whole class structured yet. No lie. And if anyone's watching here from the very first 10-day, I didn't promote it as if it wasn't actually created yet, because it wasn't. I would stay up late at night putting it together. I was at work putting the final touches on it, and I would get home and do my live and teach something that I had just put together that night before. And so the next challenge, and I was scared, so scared. I was like, these people are going to think I'm a crock, even though I knew I was teaching something that was helping me. It was legitimately helping me. I just didn't know how to put it into words. You know, like you can take in some knowledge, but how to put it out there and to help people understand it is a totally different thing, you know, and at least for me. So I just, you know, went for it anyway, even though it wasn't even completely developed. And the next challenge got better, and the next challenge got better, and now I kind of have it all like clockwork. But the first three, not super pretty, you know, but it was the idea that I had promised people I was going to serve them that pushed me. It wasn't about me anymore, you know, and my word is everything. So I just, and not to mention, like you guys said, if you don't do anything, nothing's going to happen. So I knew I wanted something more, and I just went into it. I just did it. It was just like, well, this has got to be done, and here we are. So.
I love it. You guys are awesome. I mean, shoot, guys, if everyone on here just committed to maybe just one quarter, you know, maybe Q4 as we come into October here, to do it, you know, for the next 12 weeks, right? For 3 months to do a 5-day challenge Monday through Friday. Maybe not during Thanksgiving or Christmas. Maybe you take 10 weeks and you just commit to the process, and you pick that one strategy and say, hey, because really all they did here, guys, was deliver value. They served. You make a commitment and say, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to be the guy or gal who's just going to be different and not go for a sale up front, but lay some bricks, right? As you build the foundation, those bricks of trust, and you go out and you find the audience you want, and you pinpoint what their biggest challenges are, and you put together a mini Facebook challenge that helps them get over those. And then at the end, we talked about how to create the challenge, what to do during the challenge, and then how to transition into whether it's Mlsp, a product, you know, a coaching client, you know, a test drive of one of your MLM, whatever, fill in the blank, anything, transition to the sale to actually, you know, make money here, right? You have a business, this isn't a nonprofit. And then in the same breath, all the people who don't step up, keep that group and nurture that group and take care of them and do another challenge the next week. And then as time unfolds and as you get better and deliver more and more value, and your stuff isn't so pretty, but becomes more and more pretty, you may get better results. And it's just, it works. It works. And I will keep this very brief here. Don't let the fear of doing this stop you guys. You've got everything. Rewatch this webinar for those who are members. How to set it up, starting with the end in mind, what the goal is once they're in the group, and then how to transition. There is no more excuse since these ladies started training on this. There really isn't. The only reason you wouldn't do this is because of some story telling you that you don't have value, or that you won't be able to figure it out, or that you're going to screw it up. and it's just all made up. And the sooner you get rid of that story, the sooner you divorce that story is when you're going to start to step up as a leader and do some of these things that get you uncomfortable, and which allows you to actually create some of the results you're after in this business, right? But this is an opportunity. I'm so glad. This is like our third challenge now webinar with these ladies. I'm so happy. This is an opportunity for anyone who wants to go out there and get results, man. There's no reason why you can't start on this, start masterminding, start thinking about the idea and what you want to, what type of challenge you want to run starting on Monday, and set it up and go do it. And I would just say that it is possible. You're looking at 3 women who are doing it regularly, and just stop the garbage. Just stop it. Just put that stuff down there and just go do something. Just go do it. And you'll be amazed at what you find in here. I promise you, you're going to be alive after the first one. These 3 survived it. I promise you, after the first challenge, you will not only be better, but you will still be alive. I promise you that. Okay.
Yeah.
Ladies, that's it. Lisa Reed, Michelle Connealy, and Jennifer Sullivan. Guys, go find them. Say hi. They may be running challenges. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe you can get some inside stuff from them. But please go. This was, it's great to say on the channel or in the group, this was great. This is awesome. What I want to see is links to challenges. What I want to see is people setting up their own challenge and sharing their ideas with what they're going to bring to their audience in terms of value, to over deliver and actually serve them. And as a byproduct of when you do that, case in point, you will get results and you will get sales. So that's much more fun for all of us to see the stuff that you're going to actually do. Of course, these 3, I'm sure they would love to hear that this webinar was super valuable, which it was. But I'm going to tell you, I know them. They want to hear what you're doing. They want to hear, where do we go from here? Right?
We do. We want to see it. We want to see it in the group. We want to see the challenges. We want to see your results. We want to see what's going on. So share it, please.
Right on. Thank you guys for being here. For the 100 still with us 2 hours in, we buttoned up with the recording for our members, and be on the lookout for some cool Facebook challenge bonuses and PDFs and giveaways and cheat sheets. It's just awesome stuff. Ladies, thank you so much. Lisa, Jen, Michelle, thank you again. And that's it. Have a great evening, everyone. This webinar is a wrap. Lisa, Jen, and Michelle, we'll see you guys soon. Facebook challenge, y'all. Facebook challenge. Come share in the group what you're creating, and have a great night, everybody. We'll see you next Wednesday. Thank you, ladies.